Hello there, I'm Ian Dyson. I'm the Commissioner of the City of London Police, and as well as that I have national policing responsibilities for economic crime, which increasingly takes us into the world of cybercrime, but also I'm the National Police Lead on business crime and also the National Police Lead on information technology. So I'm speaking to you today with a number of different aspects of policing that I want to share my thoughts with you. So if I think about policing and going back into history, policing started as purely an organisation to police the public space. And indeed, that expanded at a time when there was no private security industry. So for example, when the Natural History Museum opened in Victorian London in the 1860s, the Metropolitan Police had a whole army of people who were employed just to police the Natural History Museum. Nowadays, we're used to museums, art galleries and the like having their own security. And I think that reflects the way that society has moved, and the ability of police to deliver across all of those responsibilities has also changed. So when I started as a young constable, you would police inside of football matches and big sporting events. That no longer happens. So the world is changing, and we're now in a world that is changing even quicker as cyber and increasingly our willingness and in fact eagerness to do more and more of our business online, to engage in our social life online, means that policing has to be more engaged in the world outside of the public space. And we can't do that alone. We need that partnership with industry in order to do that. So we're all used to those relationships and partnerships that mean police officers work side by side with private security guards, the uniformed guards that you will see at the entrance to big institutions, the museums that I talked about, or indeed the offices of private companies. That is something that has existed for a number of years. What we're now working with the industry to do is look at how we can take that further. Can we actually use private security guards to be deployed at the scene of a major incident, for example? But also we know that private security is doing other work, such as guarding of scenes of crime on behalf of policing, because we are being stretched in our mission. And then if you take the world of online crime, how do we actually engage with the private security industry to make online world safer for everyone? And you will see that in the number of private firms that offer a very specialist cyber offering. And that is something that we work very closely with them around, for example, child sexual exploitation online, working cheek by jowl with this private security industry. So what does the police service offer for young people who might be interested in security as a career? Well, I think from the days when most police officers were wearing a uniform and patrolling the streets at night or during the day, dealing with the incidents that come up, we still need police officers to do that, and we still recruit a lot of people to do that. But increasingly we need far more specialist skills. We need people to be able to operate online. We need people who understand how fraud and financial crime works. We need people who understand how the social media networks work. And we want those people to be working with us in the industry and in the police service. So we're looking as a police service at ways in which we can recruit in a more flexible way, so that people will join us for just a few years and then they will move on and do work in other industries as well. And what a great thing to have on your CV, that for a number of years you worked with, for example, the City of London Police, tackling online crime or dealing with some of those really complex frauds. Those are the sort of opportunities that we now offer to people who are thinking about security as a career. And security is fundamental to the safety and the prosperity of all of us. So if you think about those places around the world where there isn't security, where there isn't an effective policing mechanism, those are the worlds where businesses struggle to flourish. So it is important that if you're thinking about this as a career, that you think about how fundamental this is to a democratic society and to a society that is enabled to flourish and to prosper in the modern world.
Hi, I'm Jason Choy. I founded a company called Welcome Gate, and we install security systems for large global clients. Security engineering roles in the future, in fact now, have changed quite considerably. You know, the amount of clients that we have now predominantly are from an IT background, and so to understand their space and understand what they're interested in is really important. Cybersecurity is a big thing right now, and it's just going to get bigger because what was different in the past is that we had systems that weren't linked to any outside network. They were very standalone. And now most of the systems that we are working with, most of the technologies that we're working with are fully connected and integrated into client systems. So all of our teams and the sort of skill sets that we're looking at in the future, people must know a lot more about IT than they certainly did in the past. The way that IoT impacts the existing security world is the devices are just much smarter. They're much more intuitive than they ever have been. And so, whereas before, for instance, cameras, you would just, it was just there for recording purposes, playing back and archiving. Now cameras can generate vast amounts of data, and metadata is what it collects, and it's generating all of that. I think that the next generation is, how do we then interpret that data? What is that data telling us? So data analysis, I know that there's a lot of analytics, AI-based analytics that's out there that's making users' lives a lot more productive, a lot more efficient. But from an installer's point of view, it's about knowing how to set those things up and really getting into grips with what the client's existing security platforms are, and understanding how, on the physical security side, how we can work together. A really good example of a journey of some of our graduates that have come through Welcome Gate. We haven't been in the security industry all that long. We're probably one of the newer players, but that gives us an opportunity to try new things and be kind of different. And one of the ways that we did it is to recruit differently as well. And there's one particular individual, Anton, who was fresh out of university, first job out. Because he sort of had this technical ability, we kind of liked him. He really understood his IT, and at that time, a lot of our clients were being IT based. So that skill set, started just dealing with first line support issues. Then he started doing more project management, where he was coordinating engineers going to site. Eventually, he's done a series of project management, first and second line technical support. He picked up stuff really quickly because he just had that mindset. And he eventually became our head of operations, running a £5 million engineering base with clients all across the world. And today, he is looking after one of the world's largest recruitment sites in Asia Pacific as their physical security manager. What the sector offers is a tremendous amount of opportunity for growth, and if you're interested in trying new things, this is the sector for you.
Hi there, I'm Paul Grist, UK Director of Trigion Security Services. We provide an integrated fire and security solution throughout Europe. We're a family-owned business. I've known Peter French and Jeff Johnson from SSR for some 30 years and have worked with them extensively over that time on recruitment and advice. Their knowledge of the industry is absolutely first rate, and I continue to use them to this day. And it's also nice to say that they've become friends and I socialise with them too. I think security engineering roles in the future are going to evolve from today as we become more and more technologically sophisticated. We're using very different systems today, with them connected through the internet, through one another, and they have a much more intelligent range of facilities, a lot of self-diagnostics. So it's very, very different, with a lot less cabling because so many products are now wireless. We have intelligent algorithms and sophisticated machine learning techniques. We have remote engineering capabilities, so we don't always need to attend site to carry out physical services. So it's very much more a simple installation process and a more diagnostic role over a much wider range of smart devices. The IoT will impact the existing security world by making solutions far less dependent on cabling networks. There's a lot more wireless product out there now, both on the fire and security side and increasingly on access control and CCTV. In fact, we have truly wireless CCTV fast approaching and possible with small static systems on the basis that battery technology has been improved so much. And now devices start to talk through one another and to one another rather than to a central hub. And this is giving a much greater level of flexibility in just about every area of electronic security. Yeah, our organisation is changing and evolving now. We are currently manned guarding as well as electronic fire and security. And we're finding that our clients are looking for an intelligent solution where they have a far smaller dependence on the man guarding side and are looking for electronic solutions that, whilst they have a large capital cost, they have a low ongoing cost. And they tend now to look ahead perhaps at a 5-year cost rather than the immediate cost. On top of that, at the other end of the spectrum, in the fast-moving retail and domestic sector, we're moving towards subscription-based systems. So people don't have a major capital outlay, but pay a simple monthly subscription to cover installation, maintenance and monitoring. And people often self-monitor on their own smart devices now, rather than going through to a traditional alarm receiving centre.
I'm Anushka Gopeechund, design manager. 3 years ago, I met with Jeff of SSR Personnel, who helped me get a job at All Cooper. Security engineering roles in the future would be a combination of cybersecurity and smart technology, but also responsible and sustainable engineering. In my career, I've seen a progress in technology from analog to digital and then to integrated. And now we see with Internet of Things, we're moving to smart technologies, using a little bit more of analytics, using the device actually to detect a crime without any human intervention. So for me, security engineering would be involving a lot of creativity into producing something very smart and detectable. The device would be so smart that you won't even need human intervention to detect a crime. And it would be safe, it would be sustainable and responsible. As I've seen technology evolve from analog to smart, I think moving forward would just bring more benefits to the client. And the client would be upgrading all their security systems just for added benefits and less human intervention, but also making them feel safer. With the advent of IoT, we can certainly expect a change in the security world. We can't just live with all security systems all our life. We do have to improve it, we do have to upgrade it, we do have to make it more secure. The new security world needs at least a lot of smart tools, a lot of analytics, a lot of effective technology to make the world more secure. Because crime is evolving, crime is not just physical, crime is becoming cyber. So to reduce any cyber attacks and any physical crimes, we do need IoT integrated in the security world, and everyone would be very positive to adopt it.
Hi, my name's Enser. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Reliance High Tech. We're the largest integrator of fire, security and lone worker solutions in the UK as an independent business. We've known SSR for, more than 20 years, and actually they're a good business partner of ours. We currently use them for supplying various staffing needs and helping us with our contracts as and when we need to flex our workforce. What will security engineering roles look like in the future? The industry's really changed a lot over the last 10 years and even 20 years. In the past, we had a lot of engineers that were really well skilled at bolting things to the wall, particularly as analog products. Technology has really changed that. And whilst we will always need people to install equipment, what we'd call end devices these days, really there's a lot more focus on things like networking, IoT, cyber, and many other aspects of the digital arena which is coming into force. And so the shape and the skills of our engineering force is really changing, and it's a very exciting time for the industry. So how is IoT going to impact the security world? As I said earlier, if we go back a few years, we were really protecting the inside of a building, physical assets. But nowadays, the need has changed. We're really protecting people, assets and reputation. And a lot of that's being driven through things like cyber and networking. So we're not so concerned about just things getting stolen from within a building, but we're actually more concerned about losing data or information or damaging somebody's reputation. And with IoT, there are so many different devices now being connected into a system that actually there's a really grey line between where does security finish and where do other services start. And so typically today, we would be looking at a multitude of end devices, not just security sensors, whether it's a camera or access control, but how do they fit into connected buildings? How do they fit into connected cities? And how do they all integrate together? So for us as an industry, we've really got to widen our horizons, and we're now seeing that the skills and the requirements and also the opportunities to help build value for the customers is really changing, even around the core of security. So are there any really big changes or things that you know we really care about? I mean, within our organisation, we see that there's this paradigm shift in the industry. And so we're really focused on developing that next generation and bringing them through. So at Reliance High Tech, we're investing heavily into apprenticeships, and we're also investing heavily in terms of our skills at perhaps the non-traditional security end, and becoming more into the sort of IT and networking type arena, because we really see that there's a lot of value that can be taken from the systems and the services that we provide to give additional value for our customers. So this isn't just about securing their security needs, but it's also about how we help them with things like energy saving in the building, or giving them data and analytics and other benefits to their organisation. If we can build value, then that builds value for the customers, and that makes all of us very happy.
Hi, I'm Kat Bunting-Biss. I'm Head of Marketing at Wilson James. Security roles in the future in the supply chain, I think, will be similar in some ways and different in others. I think from a people perspective, the skill set that we look for now will very much still be relevant. So we look for people who have an interest in the world around them, people who have attention to detail, resilience, good customer service skills, and the passion for the industry. Those people will still succeed, and we'll still very much be looking for those skills. Secondly, I think it's all about technology. There is so much technology advancement going on at the moment. Some of the biggest research and development projects are related to technology for security. And I think the people that are involved in that and the people that are early adopters of those technologies and become the go-to super users of those technologies will be the ones that are successful. So the path into the security industry and what you need to do now. There are a number of options for you. It depends which part of the industry you're interested in. I'd broadly break the industry down into 4 areas. So the first is physical security, and that customer-facing security officer roles that you might see at an airport or in an organisation, a corporate office, etc. So getting into that side of things, you would have to wait until 18 to get your SIA licence, and then you could pass that and begin work as a security officer. And again, there's a huge range of industries that you can work in, and it can take you all around the world. The second path into security would very much be around cyber security. And again, there are apprenticeship schemes and courses that you can do from the age of 15, which enable you to specialise in cyber. Of course, you can do degrees along those lines and take on a graduate scheme after you've graduated. And cyber roles exist in all sorts of businesses. There are standalone cyber firms, or of course you could work as part of a larger consultancy organisation. The third stream is close protection. We have a manager in our business who, after university, became a close protection officer, and she supported high net worth individuals in the Middle East and travelled the world with them, providing close protection. Amazing job, global travel, really interesting people, and again, that real sense of responsibility to be protecting high net worth individuals. She, from there, came back to the UK and was able to transition into a role within our business, where she now manages contracts for multi-million pound organisations. And then the fourth route is very much around risk management, so surveillance, profiling, social media monitoring, some of the really intelligent information that's given through government and in private organisations to mitigate risk for businesses and for people. So again, you could do a degree in security risk management, you might have a degree in economics or politics, but certainly with an interest in world affairs and politics, this could be a really good route for you. So aspects that we feel strongly about and what we're looking really closely at the moment is diversity. Security, the security industry is huge and has, I think, still a reputation as being male dominated. We are really trying to look at that and make it attractive and appealing to females. We have many women in senior positions in our business, and this has seen more women applying to all sorts of roles within the organisation. I think in terms of inclusivity, security offers lots of variety in the sorts of roles available. We offer full-time position, part-time, contract roles. Obviously, it's often a 24/7 service, so there is flexibility in terms of when you want to work. And of course, the sorts of clients that we work with, we really want to show them that we are mirroring the working style that they are keen on. So big global businesses who are leading the way in terms of diversity, we need to show that we reflect that and that we are doing the same thing within our organisation. So there are other ways that we can improve diversity in the industry. And one of the initiatives that we've taken on at Wilson James is actually to partner with charities and organisations who support those who may otherwise struggle to find employment. So we've partnered with charities who work with those that have disabilities to offer them work placements at some of our client sites. And we also have had long-standing partnerships with charities that support ex-service personnel, enabling them to get into the industry using the skills that they gained from the armed forces.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody who's taken part in this programme. We set out with the idea of trying to show you the diversity of the security sector. We hope we've shown you the diversity and that you, wherever you may be, now consider the security profession to be something you'd like to join. Thank you very much.